Gwaan.
What's going on, guys? Ode Osborne, UFC fighter here, and this is Gwaan podcast. And if you don't know what Gwaan means, it means what's going on in patois. So I am here with Action Man Chris Curtis, Lance Spaude, what a weird name, and Jordan Leavitt, two UFC fighters, and Lance Spaude, one of the managers of Iridium Sports. Yes. So guys, Gwaan, mi brother. Lance, I gotta say, I gotta call out the obvious. You are my first white guest.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. No pressure, nothing like that. Nothing like a couple hundred years of colonialism put right on me right off the bat. So great.
His great-grandmother was Cherokee.
Cherokee princess. There's always a Cherokee princess.
As long as I don't do Ancestry.com, I'm gonna believe it. So I'm gonna take it.
I mean, Spaude, that's who gave you that name, Spaude? Like, who gave your ancestors?
You're fine.
Who knows that?
Spaude. I was like Spaude. I've said Spaude, like that name Spaude.
I told you Spoutenhazen. Like, yeah, he's clearly Lance Rigo Spouderhausen. He's like
I don't know about Spouty, but my mother's maiden name was Peters, but he actually came over to the United States from France, and it was Petrie.
Oh my God, you're French?
I'm French too, yeah. It's just getting worse. I understand.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Bro, you don't know. Like, we don't like the French.
We don't?
No.
Why
Who
not?
do you like?
Because they're French. Like, they've let us down all through history. Like, they like showed up for like one war and then have just failed like repeatedly since then. Like, you got to give them, no, we don't like the French.
All right, so we don't like Cyril Gane?
Actually, I don't like Cyril Gane. Now that you mention it, yeah.
But I like Cyril.
I don't trust him.
All right, fine. We don't like Cyril.
I don't know.
Cyril.
Something about his face is untrustworthy to me.
All right, Cyril. I'm sorry. I can't like you anymore.
It's fair.
This is gonna be such an interesting episode because these guys right here are such characters, man. Y'all have the most interesting personalities, and I want more people to see that because sometimes when you're in the UFC, you gotta like promote yourself, and you don't get the chance to promote yourself. You don't get the platform to promote yourself. So I want to use this as I want to promote the different personalities that you guys don't see outside of the UFC. Like Chris has, oh my God, his personality is so funny. And Jordan, oh my goodness, Jordan's personality, he's so interesting. You're so interesting to me, Jordan. Like look what you're wearing right now. It's so, you got your sweater vest, shirt, and jeans and flip flops. Like, you're just such an interesting character.
It's a cardigan.
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was a pullover.
It's like a little deep ultra V, a little button down.
It's high school science.
I came from the
teacher
gym. It's my work outfit. Yeah, my work shoes, and then
And flip flops.
I was in student council. Okay, this is my look.
I can tell. You're dressed like my science teacher. It's like it's very strange. Like, he is just like, was it Mr. Marcoux was his name? Yeah, you're dressed like Mr. Marcoux, and
Chris, is his dressing bothering you?
it's weird, man. And I've known Jordan for a long time, so like I've seen Jordan wear like the most fire like '70s suit ever, and then this is the opposite side of that spectrum. Like, what the hell are you wearing right now?
It's par for the course, though.
It is, yeah.
He was disappointed when he couldn't walk out with pajamas when he got to the UFC.
I know.
It's like, I can't use pajamas to walk to the cage. I'm like,
Yo, I don't. When I first met Jordan, I'm sorry I have to say, Jordan. When I first met you, I was like, Jordan, that guy, is he homosexual? I completely thought that, 100%. I completely thought that. And when I met him, he's like, oh yeah, I have a wife and kids. And I was like, what? You have a wife and kids? I was shocked.
That don't mean I'm not gay though.
It doesn't.
Every person with like Islam Makhachev as their profile picture is telling me that just because I have a wife and kid doesn't mean I'm not gay. But if it was 2022.
I've had people ask me, like, is he gay? I'm like, no, he's got a wife and kids. He's like, well, you can still be gay. I'm like, what the fuck you ask me for then? Like, if
I'd be invincible if I was gay. I'd be a superstar. I twerk and do all these weird things. You don't think I would have monetized the whole being gay thing? If any fighter would have, it would have been me. Okay, I wish I was gay for all of you. But sadly, I like women.
I don't know where to go with that. Like, all right, that's...
There's nothing wrong with being gay, guys.
No.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's such an interesting character, man. Like, oh my goodness. And so one of the fans actually wanted me to ask you, how do you handle trolls with your sexuality and people thinking you're either gay or you're not gay? How do you handle those trolls? Somebody wanted me to ask you that.
Well, I mean, at first I think it used to bother me. Like when I was in high school, I've always been very soft-spoken, overly polite. But I think I was just awkward. Wasn't really comfortable in my own skin. But I guess now when people tell me I'm gay and they send me penis pictures, and which I think is pretty gay. Okay? If you think a guy's gay, like how does you sending your penis to me show me that I don't know, I'm confused. But
If you heart it, then they have proof. Like, all right, if you send a heart back, like got him. Like, that's the trick.
Send a little microscope emoji. Like, what is that?
To catch a predator. Like, if he sends a heart back, I got him.
Well, yeah, I just let it roll off my back. I think it's funny, you know. I can't be. I'm not masculine. I'm not macho. I don't fit the whole fighter persona. But you know, I read the message. I'm sad about it for a second, but then I go home and lay down with my wife, and that's how I do it.
Touche. That's a good answer.
That's very good. That's very good. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Like most people don't see more of this, you know, more of Jordan, you know what I'm saying? And this is for me, I'm like, I need to get Jordan on my show. I got to get Jordan on my show. I need to know more about his personality. You're like the character in the video game with the mystery box label. I'm like, who are you? You know?
I'm like Valdo from Soul Calibur.
That actually is a good reference. That's a really good reference. Like, you should do that for Halloween.
Oh my gosh, yo, Chris loves some anime. He knows
anime, games, everything.
Yeah, he knows everything about every anime, I
always say I'm the most combat ready nerd you'll ever meet. Like, I'm a nerd, but I can still stomp a hole in you, but I'm a big nerd, and I'm very proud of that.
That's like Chris Barnett, too. He loves anime. He's a huge nerd.
I
like
love
that,
Chris
too.
Barnett.
Chris Barnett's amazing. Shout out to Chris Barnett, by the way, man.
That dude's awesome.
He really is. The way he stomps you and then he backflips, boom, and it's like, oh, man, he's dope. And
I just need him to, like, backflip onto somebody like, one time. Like, just finishing move, like, drop a guy and then backflip on top of him. I need that one time, and I'll be so happy.
Bro, no, the best finishing move, though, is Jordan's twerking. That is...
Twerk on the dead... Yeah, that's...
Jordan knocks you senseless and then twerks on your body.
It's impactful. It's very sad. Like, when you get strangled unconscious, like the first thing when you wake up, the first thing you see is like just ass cheeks bouncing in front of you. You're like, you're not really sure what's happening.
It's sad because in the moment it doesn't seem nearly as evil as it sounds in hindsight. For me, I'm just having fun, you know. This is gonna be funny. I'm gonna be a meme, and then it's like, what an evil individual. I'm like, oh,
Well, where did that come from? What made you think? What made you go home and be like, you know what? After I beat this dude, I'm gonna twerk on him.
Okay, so I actually didn't really like when I fall into the split, I kind of have to jiggle to get up. So that those twerks I don't really count those. But I twerked on Trey Ogden, who was a very lovely individual for the most part. I like him a lot. He won his first UFC fight. He won his last fight in the UFC. I was really proud for him. But the reason I twerked is because after the fight, his coach
James Krause
was like, "Good attempt," and I was like, "I won that, man." Like, what do you mean good attempt? So after they called my name, I like twerked, looked over my shoulder at him, you know, whipped my head and bit my lip, and I was like, "No, that's my good attempt."
Wait,
man.
Krause told you good attempt?
Good attempt.
Was this before they announced it?
Before. You hurt my feelings. I was like, no, there's no way.
The disrespect.
So James Krause, you're to blame for Jordan's twerking. You're the guy.
Was this before or after you asked him, or we're talking about his instructional manual?
Yeah. So after the fight got announced, I commented I get to hear James Krause talk in person. He's a very loud, very vocal coach. And so then I messaged him like, no disrespect, I actually really like your instructionals, man. But he didn't answer me because he's a hater. So after I won the decision, I went up to him and was like shaking his hand, and I was like, your instructionals just won me a lot of money because I used them to beat Trey.
Why are you beefing with James Krause? This is the strangest. This is the weirdest beef ever. Like Jordan.
But it doesn't seem like I'm beef. I'm trying. I was being very polite, and then after I was like, oh, that came off the wrong way. Wrong time to say that. I'm like, thank you. Your instructional made me win this fight. And I was like, and I fought your guy, and you were in his corner. It came off in the moment. I was trying to be sincere, but then I'm all looking back at it. I'm like, maybe my alter ego takes control of me when I fight, and he's just a d-bag. Okay, and I'm not aware of it until after the fact.
Or you just have really bad timing.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad timing.
I'm not the most socially aware person.
Oh, I know.
But I'm trying.
He is trying, man. Lance, you manage all of us. I'm sorry, bro. I really am.
Oh, I appreciate the apology. No, it's good. It's fun. You know, you and Chris both lived with me at one point. I've known Jordan since his pro debut. We've been together for a long time. So it's always fun to get to know the fighters a little bit more and get to recognize their, personalities and be a part of their life that extends beyond just fighting. I mean, I think I took Jordan for the first time over to London, and first time he left the country, first time he's been on a long flight, and moral of the story is fuck London. That place sucked.
Lance is selling himself short there, guys. He's like, I'll be involved in their lives. Like, I had a fun time in my life to where I dated a stripper and I moved her.
Which one? Which time?
Which one? You know the one. Names won't be named. But I dated a stripper, blah, blah, blah. Long story short. Because this is why, like, my first time in my life having money for real. So, and actually, I go and do something stupid. I find this stripper in freaking, like, Florida. So, I moved her out here.
No.
And, it went terribly wrong really fast. Like, everything went... So...
I need to hear more of this.
This is the first time in my life with money, and that went terribly wrong, like so wrong. So Lance was there to fix that. But mind you, I lived with Lance before that.
How did Lance fix this?
He's oh man.
Chris doesn't get to do stuff with money anymore.
No, I'm really like, I have to be low key with that. Because at one point, like with the stripper, like we got into an argument and she drop kicked me. So like
drop it like it's hot? Or?
No. Running
drop kick.
This is great. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, yeah, I was kind of being a dick. Like we were fighting about stuff. And I was being a dick and like being a smart ass. I don't even know what I said, but I heard she was only like she was like 5'3", like 5'3". She was like 5'3". She wasn't tall. So I heard like it was like Chucky footsteps. And like before I could put two and two together, like what was I turned over and she's like airborne, like both feet off the ground, like kicks me, knocks me out of a chair. I'm like, what the fuck? So like that's how that relationship went. And just bad times. Like Lance had to be there to fix that. Like Lance has actually been there to fix like all of my breakups that go really terribly. He's just like, all right, like, let's hide the body and get this done with. And, every time I'm like, oh no, I spent all of my money and I'm broke, but Lance needs somewhere to live. So no, at one point it was great. I had 2 rooms at Lance's house.
I think O'Day ruined that, didn't he?
Jay. Did Jay ruin it?
Oh yeah, it was Jay. It was Jay that showed up first.
Jay Perrin ruined it. Look at the fighter. But I had 2 rooms. I was like living upstairs. And then he renovated his house, so we created it. I moved my bedroom upstairs, and I kept my first bedroom as a game room. Mind you, I'm living in this man's house, like claiming this other room. He's like, what are you doing? At the time, nobody was in it, so he's just like, okay, I guess, like, grow up.
Right, so he's got your own room and a game room.
I had a game. Jay's room was my game room.
And he literally would use both. Like, he would game at like 3 in the morning and then get up and go upstairs, go to sleep, and then like...
Yeah, I'm not allowed to do things with my money anymore.
Yeah, man.
We have an agreement. Like, there's just like, any big purchase has to like be brought up. Like, all right, guys. Like,
I strongly agree that everybody needs a Lance for real.
Oh yeah,
100%, 100%. Everybody needs a Lance, man.
I tell people all the time, like, oh, like, what did you do? How'd you do this? I'm like, get a Lance. Like, yeah, bro. Like, I get mail I don't recognize. Like, there's a bill I don't know. I'm like, Lance. Like, I'm not old. I'm not mature enough to like handle my life yet.
Right.
So,
How many managers are out there doing these guys' taxes?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lance does. Like Lance literally.
Exactly.
We laugh because like all of Lance's guys, every like company has the other people and their guys. So like Lance is my guy, but like at the same time, I'm aware that I would die on my own. Like I'm 35, and I'm like, bro, I will die on my own. I'm like, I call Lance all the time, but I don't know what this is or like what I'm supposed to do. Like UFC will send me stuff, and I'm just like, cool, but like send it to Lance because I'm never gonna read an email. I don't like check my email. So like Lance is the only reason I'm like haven't been like fired yet or I'm in jail or whatever. So. Yeah,
Lance stops all of Chris's bad ideas. Speaking of bad ideas, I'm not saying this is a bad idea. I actually support this idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Lance
Don't
is the
even
one.
get into it.
No,
It's atrocious.
No,
sometimes
Stop
Lance
enabling this.
Lance is afraid
I
to
like
take
the
risks.
idea. I think it's a good idea.
Sometimes
I'm just
Lance
gonna
is
say
afraid
it.
to take risks. But yeah, I'm a visionary. So
Well-
like I like to look into the future. I'm a visionary. Like, I'll continue. with it.
So Chris brought this to me one day, and he was talking about his Zeppelin idea. It's a way for transfer, or well, how would you explain it? Go ahead, I'll let you do it.
You know that famous photo of that blimp like in flames?
It's not a
People
blimp.
Zeppelin.
It's
That's,
not a
that's
blimp.
exactly what it is.
No.
It was
Go ahead.
it was a
Chris,
Zeppelin. Okay.
Chris, go ahead.
So everyone's like, oh, Hindenburg. People died in an accident once. All right. How many boats go down? Like that we
Right.
don't talk about.
Right.
Like wasn't there like a cruise ship like sinking in the ocean for like 3 days, and people are just like, oh, but hey, they're still on Carnival Cruise,
And
like,
they're all using fuel. You know, they're
Yeah.
not fuel efficient.
Bro,
so
like,
yeah, explain this.
Think about
go
now.
ahead.
You
Go
can
ahead.
have a hybrid Zeppelin, like so. We all fly. Like, we just went to London, didn't we, Jordan?
Yes, we
How
did.
was that flight?
It was horrible.
Horrible. But it took, how many hours did it take? Like, it was like 14
something like
hours?
that.
So, okay, 14 hours, absolutely miserable. You're stuck in a small seat, being miserable. Would you rather have that flight take 24 hours, but you've flown in comfort and luxury?
Wait, you are totally misconstruing this. We looked up the airspeed of like a Zeppelin. It's like 200 miles per hour. That flight's not gonna take 24
No,
hours. It's gonna
no,
take
no.
like 4 days.
So don't.
It'll be worth it. Sometimes when you travel in luxury, sacrifices have to be made. I watched Up. Okay, I want to be in a balloon house.
Yeah. So like you're sitting in your little like your middle aisle seat in this plane. You got like when I went to Brazil, I was trapped next to this really fat woman, and like it was so bad because I was in a window seat, she's in the middle seat, and she was expanding like dough the longer the flight went on. So like by like 6 hours in, I'm fighting back against her mass as she's sleeping because it's slowly crushing me against the wall.
You're terrible.
No, it's the truth.
You're terrible.
It's the truth though.
You're terrible.
But in a Zeppelin, you would have a cabin that you could get up, walk around. There's a ballroom, like you can go dance. Go smoke a cigar, like listen to some piano music, go work out in the gym. So would you rather be trapped would you rather be in a plane for 24 hours? You said 4 days. Would you rather have 4 days in luxury and comfort, still doing whatever, or would you rather be trapped in that flight for 14 hours?
Ooh, I want the audience to comment on this too, because I'm gonna roll into, speaking of would you rather, I have a segment that I just started today. It's called Would You Rather, right? So your would you rather was flying a Zeppelin for 24 hours or a flight to London for 4. I'm gonna roll in. Do we have mine, Chase?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna roll in the would you rather. So would you try this? That's my question to you guys and the audience that's listening. So would you try this?
What is this?
Once you better go live it up, cash in the bag. Stay I'm bad, baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, shit by my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all.
So motherfuckers will do this but not get in a Zeppelin.
If you look very closely, you'll see the hands of that fella. They're white.
White.
Okay. And I'm pretty whitewashed, but I won't try that. No, I'll just hike down the mountain. I don't need to jump off and
Why
take
would I
squirrel
don't
suit.
propel myself off
I
of
agree.
high things like that is. And like no.
I feel like
it's-
Lance would try it. I feel like it's something Lance would do.
Well, my first thought is, what was the whole point of bringing up that slingshot, whatever he was riding? You could have just jumped off the cliff and accomplished the same thing. But
Actually,
yeah,
yeah.
I'd do it. Yeah,
See?
why not?
I wouldn't do it.
And we proved an interesting point today. I'm with you though. What was the point of the slingshot?
Maybe to get more speed and
No,
so
I was
we can
thinking
But
more
get-
he's free falling. You're gonna reach terminal velocity at the exact same time. Like, what was the difference?
The point is that it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Chase. The point is that it's cool.
That's terrible.
Can we get Chase on camera real quick?
No, we don't have a camera for Chase. Sorry.
Is there not a camera for Chase?
There's not a camera for me.
So why don't you
but
guys take a poll? Guess what color Chase is, guys?
I'll tell them. I'm white.
But that's the point. I don't ever want people to see Chase because it's the whole mystery.
No, he gave it away right there. He's like, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. No.
I've got a Mexican last name if that helps. Third generation Mexican.
Don't tell them because they're gonna look you up.
You let it down. You let them down because they'd be like, no, man, no. They say, no, that's not cool. No. No, I'm not jumping off. I don't jump. I don't do like deep water. I don't do high heights. Like it's cool. Like,
I know.
You can't
You
swim.
don't.
I can't swim. I can't float. I'm a terrestrial creature. All right. Like,
What do you mean?
I forgot. You can't float. You're too dense. That's
yeah,
what it is.
I didn't ask to be this. You see this? I didn't ask for this,
First of all, what is a terrestrial creature?
bro. I'm built for the land. I don't fly. I don't throw myself.
You don't fly, but you're gonna start a Zeppelin company.
This is true.
Because that is
those
inspiration
are
from
points.
God.
That's
all
a good
right?
point. That's a
not
good point. That's a good point.
That's not a good point, bro.
That's a good
That's
point.
not a good. You know what?
But a Zeppelin, it'd be so smooth. It'd feel like you're on land.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a flying landmass.
Thank-
That's what it is.
really-
Exactly.
thank you. All
I
right.
got your back.
You're earning your place back. Chase.
I'm just saying I like the Zeppelin idea. But what I'm also saying is you're afraid of heights. So how are you gonna go
'cause
into a business?
I'm aware that I have to like travel via plane to like. I'll go on heights if it serves a purpose. Like, oh, I need to go to the top floor of this building for a meeting. Like, okay, fuck it, I'll go. Or I need to go to England. I'm not walking to England. I'll take a boat, so I'll go. But hey, let's go jump off of a cliff. I'm like, what was the point?
This is true.
Yeah,
I
like,
wouldn't do it.
It's not one of those things I do for fun. Like, all right, like I'm really afraid of dying, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really afraid of dying. Like, I've done a lot of dumb shit. It hasn't killed me. So like, I'm 35 now, and I'm like, I look back on things that should have killed. Like, I should be dead like 10 times over. I'm like, oh my god. Like, what if I don't have any more luck? So now I'm making money now too. So like, I gotta be careful. Like,
money definitely makes you different.
I told everybody the moment I got paid, I'm brand new. Like, I am brand new. Like the moment I got real checks, I don't know nobody. Like, come on,
Yo,
dude.
for real. There's a picture, Chase. If you can find it, you probably I don't know, but there's a picture of Chris on his Instagram page of him in a robe on a chair.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's freaking phenomenal.
That's the first thing he did after he won his fight.
Yeah, I went to Turkey, and I was in Istanbul, and I was staying in a Sultan suite, and I got
All
money.
for
I could do
$14.
Yeah, right. It was like $60 a night in America. It was great. And I'm just like walking around in a robe, like under like a picture of a sultan. Like this is how I should have been living. This is what I earned this. So like
He said I earned this. He's just like, you know what? I'm here now, and I'm gonna live my life to the fullest.
if I can find a chinchilla skin coat, I'm gonna buy it. But they're very hard to come by.
You
so.
tried to buy it off a guy.
I did try to buy it off a guy. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, it's.
I was just like walking through some casino, and this guy has his fur coat on. Chris is like, "How much for the coat?" The guy's like, "What?"
I could see Chris
I was
doing
straight
that.
gonna buy it. Too.
I really could see you doing that.
People were like, "Oh, don't let money change." I'm like, "Nah, bro, it completely changed me."
Man, you're an interesting character, Chris. I kid you not. You and Jordan both are the most interesting of characters. Like, Jordan's just like I said, the whole question mark, the character with the question mark. Like, who are you, Jordan?
Oh, I don't even know, man. Sometimes I wish I was just when God made me, just put a different character, put a different program in this brain. Okay, like I've been destined to a life where I'd always stick out. But like, I like the company of people. I don't like to stick out too much. I don't like to be the center of attention. But it's just my destiny to be ridiculed and awed at.
Oh, he's accepted it. Hey, man.
I just can't wait till Jordan's in the video game, like the UFC video game, because he's literally every button you press is gonna be the wrong move. Like, you're gonna throw a jab and he's gonna Eminari roll. Like everything's gonna be just off, which is just perfect, par for the course.
So now I'm upset now. Actually, you mentioned that because I haven't played the UFC 4. I've never played it. I was like, I swore I'd never play it until I got in the UFC. But I got in the UFC. Now I want to be in the fucking video game. And then like now Bo Nickel's in it.
And Rosa.
They gave Rosa. I said,
He's
bro,
the youngest UFC fighter ever.
Ro's
Come
my
on.
guy. I love Ro. He's a good kid,
He's
guys.
not a UFC fighter yet. He hasn't fought.
Yeah, like I love
Got a contract.
I love Rob Rosa.
love you.
He's a
I
good
love you,
kid.
Rosa.
He's a
You're
good kid. I love him. He's a good kid. Good guy. He works
We're just
hard.
salty.
But I'm salty as fuck. Like,
5 fights into the UFC, no character. He was on a crazy win streak.
but I'm ranked now. I'm like, God damn it! Like, of course, I want to play as me. Like, and it's very conceited. It is, but I just want to play as me.
You know what you're not? 17.
Yeah, I'm legal, ladies. But yeah, that hurt me so much. Like Bo Nickel's in. I'm like, you know what? I can accept like Rao, like fine, like you're the youngest guy in the UFC ever. I mean, that's a historic thing. And then Bo got in, and they announced Bo was in before he even fought, and I was like, how is that possible? Like, I can get Rosa. You're the youngest guy. Like, cool. That's a historic thing. But what did you do? Like, how did you? Like, that is not no.
Yeah, I mean,
That is 3-time
I think-
NCAA champion Bo Nickel.
Isn't Brock Lesnar like 3 times something?
I think he's like a 3-time Big Ten champ
I don't.
because he lost to a few people in the finals. But I'm a big Bo Nickel fan, so I'm really biased. But does he belong in the video game? Not yet. He hasn't fought in the UFC. What if he never fought? What if he
Honestly-
has a career-ending injury, never fights in the UFC?
Wait, or they try to put him on the prelims. You see that? He came out and said he's not fighting if he's on the prelims.
No, it said he's no. It said he's retiring. if
That's
he's
what
on
I'm
the
saying.
prelims.
You put him on the prelims, he
Yeah.
retires, he never fights, he's in the
So-
game.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I still think the best thing is I would like to play. I may actually pick up the game just to play as Bo Nickel because he's only shown like one combo and an overhand. So like all of his moves are like 3 moves. It's just like everything goes to the double. You're just like, all right. Like you press like, any combo, it's just overhand double. Like there's like been like one combo Eddie's seen. So
Bro, what do you have against Bo Nichols?
I'm a hater. Sir, I come from a long line of haters. Like my people have been hating since the beginning of time. Like when the Big Bang happened, it was light. It's like, yeah, you motherfuckers made this too bright. It can't be bright, right? Like I've been hating since the beginning, so
Yo, for real though, Chris is the only person I see on Twitter. Every single fan that says one thing negative, Chris is on their ass. It don't matter. It don't matter if you're a 14-year-old girl, Chris on your ass on Twitter.
It's to the point now to where like you don't understand, guys. Like I'm a troll and I'm a hater. So like if you come at me like think like, oh I'm gonna let it go. Like if you catch me at the wrong mood, like I'm gonna spend 20 minutes going through your Twitter, your Tinder. I'm gonna find you on Tinder. Like I'm gonna find your Instagram. I'm gonna find that picture you had where like. You know, you're like, oh, 16 years old. Like, my parents don't get me. My mom hates. I'm gonna bring that shit up.
It's totally different now that he's in the UFC. He just doesn't have the bandwidth to really engage to the extent that he
God.
wants to. Before the UFC, some guy said something that pissed him off, and you tracked him down and you ended up doing a phone call with him for like
Oh yeah,
3
God,
hours.
yeah. No, one guy talked shit, so I like, bro, I tracked him down. He became a fan because I wouldn't let him. Like I was like, bro, no, like we're gonna talk about this. And like it's very weird. Like I don't know why, man. I'm very confrontational sometimes. Like I try not to be, but when people come at me, I'm like, well, now like we're gonna do this.
That's
So-
why that picture of you when you flipped that guy off.
Yeah.
I was like,
God, you don't think I killed a baby?
bro, but people were like, oh my gosh, like
The sportsmanship.
yeah.
What
And
a-
I get that. Here's
fuck that.
the thing.
He got teabagged before that, and no one was mad.
Literally the fight before.
The fight before, a man was teabagged, and no one was mad.
And then he talked about bullying and suicide.
Yeah, like,
He bullied me for 3 months, and he's like, you know what? If you're ever in a dark place, talk to somebody. I'm like, I'm in a dark place right now.
I
But no,
took so
I
much
get
shit
it.
for that.
But I get the sportsmanship thing. I get it. Whatever. But
Fuck that. It's a fist fight.
Okay.
People like the sports. I'm like, bro, you know what it is? Motherfuckers took karate like when they were like 10 years old, or they played little league football, and like they had one guy who was like, yeah, if you don't win, you be a sport. Look at people that are bitching about that. Honestly, I feel like you never won anything. And like these are people who are so mad. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I tell people, you were mad because no one ever told you were going to be great at something. So you just accepted your failures. Like, okay, it's cool, whatever. But like, you've never had the thought to be great at something. You've never been like mad at yourself. You're just like, I suck at things.
Chris, do you need a hug?
I don't need a hug, man. I fucking hate people. Like, I'm sorry. If people suck, like, yeah, God, I flipped the guy off. Like, I'm sure he didn't go home and cry. Like, he got his full check. Like, he was fine. Like, I promise you.
And you guys made up.
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
Chris, are you sure you don't need a hug, man? I feel like you really need a hug, bro.
No, I have some delicious Alani hard seltzer that was in the refrigerator, which is not. This is actually terrible.
man. Oh my God.
My
Chris,
bad.
you are
I
so
got
funny.
mad about that.
I know. A
little bit of a sore
I'm like,
spot
tell
still,
us how you
sorry.
really feel, Chris. He was going in. I was like, oh yeah. That was like, damn.
Dude,
Look, I'm like this.
I took a lot of shit for being mad. They're like, oh, I was like, bro, you guys never got mad at work before? Like, unfortunately, my job's on TV. But like, you can't tell me you never been at work and be, man, fuck these people. Like, hey, like,
Yeah, hell yeah. I've been there.
yeah,
I've been
I
there.
had a moment. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, it's on TV.
I've been
Like,
there.
People really expect after watching 2 grown men attempt to bludgeon each other that there be like a certain level of sportsmanship. I'm like, all right, that's.
And don't you love when the commentators say, and that's what this sport's all about.
It's not.
They're all both dripping of blood, all messed up. They hug. That's what this sport's really about. No, it ain't.
It's
Y'all wouldn't be
not.
paying money to go watch these guys hug.
It's not. Like,
It's
no,
true.
it's
Your
not.
fans might.
My fans mine. You guys are a very weird breed. Okay, you guys would watch me do any strange thing.
He looks around for that word like strange.
Strange. What won't get me canceled?
Yeah, the legend
It's
continues.
see, Jordan. I truly believe there's okay. Mike Tyson, 50 Cent.
Where is this going?
Hold on.
I'm in
Hold
good
on.
company if you have those people.
Hold on. No. Let me finish. Mike Tyson, 50 Cent. I'll say for right now, Mike Tyson, 50 Cent, right?
Okay.
Mike Tyson can say whatever the fuck he wanted and could never get canceled. I feel like you're in that category.
Jay-Z.
And Jay-Z.
Nah, Jay-Z's not weird enough though.
Jay-Z just...
No, he could get canceled. Jay-Z could get canceled. Like,
Dog,
Wasn't Mike Tyson canceled for like
Rockefeller.
10 years?
no, Mike Tyson,
Like,
no.
he disappeared off the face of the earth before The Hangover.
He went to prison.
But now, anytime anything happened with Mike, like Mike Tyson getting something on the airplane, you're like, oh, that's why you mess with Mike. Leave Mike alone. That's just Mike. Leave Mike alone.
I do love that he beat a guy up on a plane. And like, we're all like, yeah, leave Mike the fuck alone.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Because Mike, you know if you like if Mike messing with you, like he will fuck that. That's your fault. I've never known Mike Tyson to start some shit.
Dude,
I mean, I should say I don't know him personally, but he's like. Go ahead, Chris.
Dude,
You've actually hung out with Mike
I got
Tyson.
to hang out with him at when I did PFL. I got to hang out with him at Tyson Ranch for like a day. So once again, this is the weirdest thing ever because they were like, "Oh, you're doing an interview with Mike Tyson." And I was like, "Okay." And then like you're flying to California for it. And I'm like, "Weird, but okay, fine." So we go out there. I'm thinking like we're doing an interview and leave. I ended up being at Tyson Ranch for like 12 hours. Like at one point, I woke up on a couch. Like Rashad Evans is there. Like Sean O'Connell's there. Like Rashad Evans is like high off of his mind, like sleeping. Mike Tyson like brings out like freezer bags of weed. He's like, "This is something we're trying. Like we're trying a new strain." I don't smoke, so I'm just like, okay, there. Like people are like really high. Like Sean O'Connell's confused and like terrified. Like what is he doing? But Mike Tyson's the nicest dude ever, man. Like he's just like this old rehabilitated Mike is like really great. So I think it's people like people piss him off and he hits people. We're like, bro, you leave Mike out of this.
Right.
He's changed. He's a better man. Like you leave him alone. Like he's a calm tiger, but he's still a tiger. Like you poke him, like bro, like, fucking swipes your face off. Like you did it.
But like I said though, Jordan is in that category. Like Jordan can do and say anything. I feel like, and people be like, "Oh, well, it's just Jordan."
Because no one knows what group he belongs to. So,
I'm like The Rock. I'm racially ambiguous. I'm a little. A lot of people claim me. I'm awkward, so a lot of autistic people claim me. I'm fruity, so a lot of gay people claim me. Okay, like most MMA fighters, like their fan base is like 95% men, 5%. I'm like 40-60. I'm very proud of that. A lot of moms like me. You know, if you're like a 40-year-old mom fan of the UFC, they probably follow me. You know, I have a pretty interesting like demographic.
you know what it is, right? Because those women have daughters, and they're like, I would love for him to marry. They're like, I would love for him to marry my daughter because he seems like you're close enough to be that cool gay friend, but still like marry their daughters and provide grandchildren. Like you're in like the Goldilocks zone. Like, you exist there. Like congratulations.
I'm not threatening to any of these moms.
This is true. If you didn't tell me you were a fighter, I'd be like, what? You're a fighter?
I don't even feel like a fighter most of the time. Like I just go to work and I train, then I come home and me and my wife just read.
You gotta work. What do you do?
Huh? I mean, fighting.
Oh, I was like, wait, you work? Like,
I don't say training because then all my white collar family is like, oh, why don't you so you work and train? I'm like, no, like training's the job. Okay, like I'm doing this like 40 hours a week.
So explain to me. Okay, speaking of your family, you're a Mormon. You're like the first black Mormon I've ever seen in my life, ever met in my life. So how is that being a black Mormon?
Wow, I wasn't expecting that one. Him and that seltzer. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know any other ones. I don't want to compare myself to.
True.
But it's a very whitewashed faith.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like Hispanic people. I don't really know too many other black.
That's what I'm saying.
More members of the church except for my sister.
That's what I'm saying. When I went to Utah,
because your ancestors were cursed.
Ancestors were cursed. Seed of Cain, all that stuff. I just want to say, do some little apologetics here. First leader of our church loved black people. Then the next 5, 6, 7 leaders of the church weren't so cool with the brothers. So after they all passed away, we were all welcome to the fold, and we kind of forget that happened.
Hey,
It's like the Book of Mormon
Yeah.
musical song, like in 1978, God changed his mind about black people. No, it's just the church leadership kind of.
It's
All
fine.
the racist guys kind of died off, and I'm very happy about that, obviously.
Said got in, like, oh, slid in there.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm like a unicorn there. I was like the cool guy. I love when I go to Utah. I'm like, oh, I love black people. Like, Jordan, he's my friend. I'm like, I'm the wrong black person to have as an example, okay? The fact that, first off, we're in Utah. Like, there's like 8 of us, okay? It's a very small amount of black people. And also, I'm very whitewashed. I'm very whitewashed.
Yeah.
There's no ounce of hood in me. My dad left me. That's the only thing stereotypically black about me.
God damn. Wow.
See, I'm not going to get canceled for that.
No, it's,
I'm not going to get canceled for
I
that.
can say that. I can say that, and it's true. Like, all right, yeah.
but how do they feel about you fighting?
It's like bulletproof.
Actually, like, my church actually supported my fighting way before, like, my family did.
Really?
Yeah, I was always really weird about that because I was like seminary. I was a lot of the kids around my age in high school really looked up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always like a little weird about kind of being vocal about my training until like one time, like my teacher's like, it's just a fist fight. We've all been in fist fights, son. Like, don't worry about this. And I was like, it is just a fist fight. So they're all pretty cool about it. A lot of I teach Sunday school at my church.
No kidding.
Yeah, from like 12 to 17. And they never even bring it up. It's kind of cool. Like, no one even mentions it. It's like when I go to church on Sunday, it's the only time I'm not a fighter. And when they figure out it's not weird.
That's cool. What's that like?
It's really cool. I feel like this has been my entire identity the past 10 years. And then before that, it was wrestling. And then before that, I was just like kind of like nerd, quiet, didn't have a lot of friends. So it's kind of cool to just go to church. I just to be like everybody else.
I just solved your mystery for you though. Doesn't Mormonism have like tithing or like tithe? They're like,
Yeah. We
yeah.
pay
So
10% of our increase. Yeah.
how much?
10%.
Well, that's why they were cool with fighting. They were like, all right, like, bro, like they were like, all right, like,
Bro,
leave
Chris,
that guy
you-
alone. Yeah.
It'll pay off eventually.
I was like, wait a minute, that made way too much sense way too early. But they always support it.
At least he has a carear choice.
Yeah,
Okay?
right.
Yeah, I
They're,
mean-
like, they're like, well, they probably thought you was like football money. They were like, all right, we're gonna be rich. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of fighting, so you're fighting Joaquin Buckley. I actually just had Joaquin on this podcast. So
Notice you had him on first.
I thought this smelled like Soul Glow. Like,
yeah, actually, what's funny, what people don't know is they're episode 2, but actually, I wasn't even supposed to run into that. Like, I wasn't supposed to have them on this podcast at all. It wasn't scheduled. I literally met them at Contender Series, and they was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going over to this studio to do a podcast." And they're like, "Oh, can we come?" Or I invited them actually, and it just, boom, happened just like that. Tate was there. Jamal was there.
I was gonna be on that one, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were gonna be on it.
It was
Yep.
like the week before they announced the fight, like out for the fight. Yeah, so it's gonna be a fun time.
Right. Then afterwards, I was like, "Oh, I saw your Twitter post. You posted on that you're fighting Joaquin." And I was like, "Oh, damn. Well, I'm glad I didn't have him."
No, it's fine. We get along fine enough. Like, it's as he said, ex-best friends. It's fine. It's he kind of hurt me. I hurt him. It's fine. It's cool though. It's like we'll solve it in December. It's fine.
So, where's this hurt coming from?
I don't. You know what? I get hurt a lot. Like
I know. I noticed.
I'm not the most emotionally mature human being. No, it's fine.
Hey, at least you're honest though. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Most people can't admit that. Honestly,
yeah.
most people can't admit that, and sometimes it's hard. But you're just like, shit, I own it. That's what's up.
I got the Sean Strickland effect. He's like, oh no, I'm not emotional at all. But I have a running list of times you were emotional as fuck and made like terrible decisions. And he's like, no, I'll never do that. I'm like, bro, I have a running list of like a 7-year list of like bad things you've done when you were upset. But no, the Buckley thing was just funny though, because like I think he was actually I think him and Albert fought after he trained with us. And I think he got like offended that I was training with Albert that camp. And in all fairness, Sean was like, "Oh, I called him and said no hard feelings." I didn't think to do that, so that's kind of on me. But then again,
Sean Strickland had the decorum to do the right, and
So-
you forgot. Sean Strickland he showed you up in terms of etiquette.
Yo, I'm dead.
it is a shameful spot for me. But then we talked about it. He's like, "Oh, well, train with him." I was like, "I'm fighting Adolfo. I need like a grappler, a wrestler." He said, "Why not use Alex Pelosi?" I'm like, "Pelosi just broke his face fighting Yoel Romero." He's like, "Oh yeah, that is true." So like, So it's fine. Like, you know, I got no hard feelings against him. And, you know, it's whatever. Like, oh, you guys gonna fight? I was like, I'll fight my mom if you guys pay me. So.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is, you know what I mean? It's a job and it's a business and stuff like that. But honestly, I see you guys getting along really well. Cause
I like Buckley.
Yeah, I've hung out with him. I hung out with you. You guys would get along really well. But right now, y'all about to put the hands on each other.
Yeah, hopefully we'll go ahead and try to kill each other.
No.
I'm excited.
Chris has put his hands on him. Buckley ain't gonna touch him.
Oh, dude's fast. I'll give him credit. He's actually faster than I am, which is funny. I'm like, all right, like it's fine. He's a little just ball of fast twitch muscle. I'm like, all right. But, you know, we train together. It's fine. I fought people like have all skill sets, whatnot. I'm just hoping for blood sport, man.
Yeah,
like, I just want there to be like.
Yeah, I'm excited for that fight for sure.
I've never had that like. Justin Gaethje versus anybody fight to where like you're almost dying. Like just every Justin Gaethje fight, he's like almost dying for some reason. Like him and Chandler, the Chandler Gaethje fight is a fight I've always wanted, and I've never been able to.
Why?
This is why you're not allowed to make decisions. Why would you want that fight?
I've always wanted that because okay guys, like I got into fighting because of like cartoons and like video games. So like, you know, the more you get into it, like especially as a young age, you realize there's a lot less fireballs and like fighting on top of mountains and shit that like I'm not gonna be able to do. So I just want like my battle to where like, you know, like I'll bleed, everyone's bleeding, like, you know, you gotta like grind it. I have never had that fight, so I'm like,
you know, you get paid the same for a bonus whether it's fight of the night or knockout of the night.
Yeah, I want my war. I've never had my war. I want like.
Hey man, give the man what he wants. Give him his war.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Chris wants his war, and I've been with Jordan when he's literally said like, I don't want to hurt this guy walking into a cage.
Oh, I won like 2 fights before my UFC. Like 2 fights before I got to the UFC, we were fighting and backstage. It was a crap show. It was horrible. But I saw my opponent, and I just felt a mantle of guilt come upon me. And I started crying backstage. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm a bad person. I like saw him talking to his kids, like, don't worry, baby. Dad's just gonna get a paycheck. He's gonna beat up this man real quick. I'm like, I'm the villain. I'm the villain of this story. And I was like, Lance, let's go home. I can't do this. I'm a bad person. And then Lance grabs me by the shoulder and he looks at me and he's like, Jordan, if anyone could beat him without hurting him, it's you. And I'm like, you are right. I could beat him without hurting him. And went out there and then Eminari rolled and got him in 17 seconds. Slept like a baby. No
Hilariously, like 2 or 3 fights before I got signed, I told a guy I was gonna beat him in front of his children, and then I throat slit his dad. Yeah, I could
see that.
Yeah, no,
I could see that.
It was in Utah, mind you, which is a great thing. And I told a guy I was gonna beat him in front of his kids. And then apparently you're not supposed to like make that gesture towards children. It wasn't towards them per se. It
was definitely towards them. You were looking right at them when you did it.
It was more so the section, and the children were up front. So like that got misconstrued slightly. Like,
and then he spit on him.
Oh
but yeah,
man.
that guy's kid was in my like inbox though. So once again, yeah, you can't fight the troll because like that guy's kid like showed up in my Instagram inbox and he's like, my dad's gonna beat you up, and I was like, well now like this is personal because like your child is coming for me. So I told him like, bro, like, you know, I remember when I was young, I thought my father could do everything, but like reality is very disappointing. So then I posted that. He got mad, like, don't post pictures of my kids saying things. I'm like, bro, then watch your kids. Like, I could, like, you're lucky I'm a nice guy. He's out here on the internet just texting people he doesn't know. It's like, this is how, like, weird shit happens, man. Like, watch your kid. Like, don't be mad at me. But well, first of all, I'm putting this out there so you know your kid's out here, like, messaging people. I'm the good guy. Like
chaotic good. But good.
I'm like, where was that? The good? Where?
He taught the kid a valuable lesson.
So you just screenshotted a thing of this guy's kid and posted it. How was that good?
Because now he knows his kid is out here talking to people he doesn't know on Instagram. So this is on you now. Like, where are your parental controls? That kid's like 12. Like, where your parental controls at? Like, right, now you know your kid's out here taking risks. So, like, you're welcome.
All right, I can see that.
What is it, fucking Moana? Like, what are you saying? What you mean to say is you're welcome.
Oh man, Chris, I love you, man, dude. You're hilarious. Oh my goodness.
I'm just chaotic neutral. It's like, yeah, like it's.
Yeah, you guys, your character, man. You're you're definitely interesting. Like I said, you and Jordan have two of the most interesting characters, like personalities I've ever seen out of somebody. Y'all are just, you guys are funny. I wish I can just get like a small miniature Jordan and put him in my pocket and just like take him out whenever I'm sad, like like a little action figure or something, and you just talk. I feel like my day would just brighten up.
That's fair.
Aw, that's so sweet.
For real.
It seemed kind of weird to me, but all right.
A little weird, like a sex toy. Whenever you're feeling a little down, pull a little Jordan out of your pocket.
I just let it go. I was like, all right, good, it's nice.
No, man. You're always in a good mood. You're always smiling. You know what I'm saying? You're always like positive all the time. Every time we talk, you're just always like a very positive person. So.
Oh, I think I'm quite a negative person oftentimes. I feel like I'm either very happy or very sassy. But yeah, I try to be happy. I'm living my dream came
Did
true.
you just describe yourself as sassy?
I am very sassy. Okay, damn it. I'm very snarky, witty, clever. Well, yeah, I'm like living my dream.
Oh man.
I'm a UFC fighter. Married a pretty girl. Have a beautiful kid. My daughter's a ginger. I always wanted a white kid. I was so worried that my kid would be faced with discrimination and not have to worry about a thing. Ginger as can be. Ginger like my mom.
So first of all, talk about discrimination of a ginger. I was like, bro, you're missing the ginger discrimination here to where it's a real thing.
But she's part black, so she has soul.
This is true.
That's what? Good counter. Yeah, I got nothing for that actually. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. I can't wait for the comments for this one. This one's gonna be so good. Who's gonna have a good time with this, Chris?
You may just want to disable the comments for this.
Oh crap! I said a lot of.
Yeah, I was like.
I want to apologize for the things I said about the African American community.
We're going downhill real fast.
Oh man, I cannot. But here's the thing: like people always are like, "Oh, what are fighters like outside the octagon?" You know what I'm saying? So you can't complain when you hear what fighters are like outside of the octagon. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, "Oh well, I got offended by this," or blah blah blah. If you asked, and you shall receive. This is what fighters are like outside of the octagon.
The first comment's gonna be like, "Oh, you guys are really making jokes, blah blah blah. Why aren't you training?" Like, all right, shut up.
Oh my gosh, that's the most annoying thing.
Stop doing less podcasts and go train. I'm like, all right, man.
I don't like it when you give me that voice, in the comments.
Yeah, right.
Why aren't you training?
This is true.
Before my fight, a guy tracked me down my little booktube channel on YouTube where I do my little book vlogs, which are for me, okay? And like my mom and my mother-in-law who watch them, okay? And guys tracks me down, messaging me on every one of my videos. You're gonna lose because you're reading too much. You have too many distractions in your life, and that's why you're gonna lose. And then after I lost, you read too many books. I was like, what? I got kneed in the neck. That's why I lost. Okay, it happens. But he tracked for 3 months talking crap, and then after the fight, minutes. Like I get a little bing on my phone as I'm getting checked out by the doctor. It's like, that's why you should have read less. I was like, what a douchebag.
Yo, fans or trolls that are undefeated on the internet. Like they are people don't understand what we have to go through as fighters, man. The trolls are ruthless. Like they're ruthless. Like you post a picture with your daughter and they'll be like, "Man, that ugly bitch." Like no joke. They are ruthless. Y'all are oof, man. And you know what? I'm at a point now where I don't let it bother me, but sometimes it bothers me. I'm like, ooh, sometimes some of the shit you guys say, I'm just like, ooh, I wanna go and do what Chris does, but I try to pray. I'm like, okay, but sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I'm petty too, because when I get hurt, I am ruthless.
I don't pray, but Chael Sonnen actually is the one. I stopped responding as much, and I'm very chill now. Because Chael Sonnen's hit me up. He's like, "Hey man, you gotta relax. This is gonna make you go insane." So it's it gets to a point after the Jack fight, I was so pissed off at everybody. I did spend 14 hours straight. I put internet on my phone on the flight home just to argue with people online. And they're like, "You've been arguing for 14 hours." I was like, "I'm damn, I haven't slept."
It keeps you young.
Bro, I haven't slept. The next day, I started beefing with Chael Sonnen over something. And Chael Sonnen's stupid message. He's like, this is my number. Call me. So I called Chill Salon at like midnight. And he's just talking to me about like, he's like, you're going insane. Like, you got to chill. Like, it happens. Like, and he talked about, you know, like he fought in the O2 Arena, actually lost. And it was just like how a shitty experience it was and like whatever. So that actually helped a lot. I talked to Chill Salon for like 2 or 3 hours. Still talk, like text him every now and then. But that was actually helpful. He's like, bro, like just, he's like, these people are going to come at you because they've never done anything to like, and that's what I realized too. Like, yeah, like they've never done anything to like be
to that level.
Yeah, I'm like, so of course you're gonna attack people that do that. You can, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he's right. So like since then, I definitely stopped taking it personally, and like, you know, I kind of backed off. But like, there are some people, I don't let it go. But my big thing is when people think they say something witty, and I'm like, oh, you tried, and I see you tried, and I see that you thought this was like good. So now I'm gonna fillet you, just because like I can't allow you to feel like you're like, ha ha ha, I said something cool. I'm like, no. So I'll go do my research. I'll go bring up how your girl left you in 4th grade. They're like, how did you know that? Like, I called her. Like,
so your personality, what I can pick up is you hurt people who hurt you.
No, he's just King Petty.
Bro, so, no, you're right, too. It's not even that. You understand. Like, I come from a petty household. I come from a long line of petty. Like, I'm King Petty. My mother was Empress of Petty. And, like, you know, like, it's, like, growing up, my family, we were, like, it was my mother, my brother, and my sister, and I. And our household was like, man, you couldn't really show like any like outwards, like we didn't talk about like what was bothering us.
I love that you own it though. I love it. I love that you own it.
Oh, it's a thing. Yeah. Because like if in my household, if you showed weakness, everyone put that bullet in their gun for later, and they're just like, like all right, like everybody loaded that bullet, and like the moment anything went down, like there 6 shooters coming out, like, everybody's emptying like all 6 fucking rounds. So like, you know, I come from a petty household.
That explains a lot.
Oh yeah, like,
that explains so much. Wow, that explains.
I'm trying to be better because apparently, like at 35, this isn't a very healthy way to live, guys. So, like, I'm working on it, but like, yeah.
Oh my God, you kill me, man. I swear, you are so funny, and that explains your personality, and that's why I love you. You have, like I said before, such an interesting personality, and I love it. You know what I mean? And Lance Spaude. Why
are you so angry at my last name?
It's just fun to say, man. Your last name, Spaude. I feel like I can say it. Spaude.
I feel like Lance was here doing damage control just in case. He's like watching like everybody.
He's texted me a dozen times during this. Be quiet.
Subtle hand motions. He's like.
Oh man, but no, man. Lance is one of the most hardworking managers ever, and he's an amazing manager. He cares so much that he cares too much sometimes, and it keeps him up at night. Blah blah blah, mushy. Bottom line is,
yeah,
I appreciate
you guys both ruined a whole trip to London, by the way.
I know.
I planned this out. A beautiful trip. Like, I don't vacation very often, and these guys both know my
we
wife,
all
Brooke.
canceled the vacation out in London.
So Brooke flies out. They both fight. Didn't go our way. And my vacation with my wife in London, my first vacation outside of the United States in like 4 years, awful. The entire time. The entire time was like, why are you like this? I'm like, because we lost. They're like, that was 4 days ago. I'm like, doesn't matter. I hate this whole country. Like, we're having a lovely time, you know, seeing nice sights. And I'm like, I hate it. I hate everything.
I think everybody canceled their London trip. Everybody's going to stay. Everybody lost. Like, fuck it, I'm going home.
I can see that.
Take my ball and leave.
Yeah. Oh man, I can see that. But at the same time, man, I appreciate all of you. And Jordan, I appreciate you so much. And the person who you are, your character, everything about you. And I think that's time, guys. And we got to wrap it up. Chris Curtis, Action Man, Lance Spaude, Jordan Leavitt. All right, guys. My name is O'Day Osborne, and this is Gwaan Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. See y'all.
Zeppelin's crash for a reason.